What was life like for you as a teenager? Was the library your favorite hangout? If so, I invite you to think about ways that you could get more teenagers to feel that way. If not, what follows are some suggestions for helping teens experience the library as a great place to be. Our goal today is you will be able to consider teen programming issues such as type and structure of program, location, content, implementation costs, resources, and behavior management. You'll be able to list and describe 3 teen programs you think would enable teens to learn and become engaged with using the library. And you'll be able to use this knowledge to make your programs relevant and inviting to teenagers that visit your library. I wonder how many teenagers are in your library right now, at this very moment. What is your guess? It is summertime. Have you thought recently about how to best reach the teenagers who do visit your library? When thinking about programs for teens, what drawbacks come to your mind? What about advantages? Here are some facts about teenagers after school. About 14 million adolescents are not supervised by parents after school. Most Americans, of course, want teens to have a safe environment and activity to attend after school. Between 3 and 6 are the prime hours for crime from teens, as well as substance and cigarette abuse. There are fewer McDonald's restaurants or Starbucks in the United States than there are libraries. Students visit school libraries about 1.3 billion times a year, which is comparable to attendance rates at movies. So, what percentage of teens aged 14 through 18 do you think used a computer at a library back in 2010? It was about 50%, but this number is likely much higher now. Do you think teens are more proficient with technology than other age groups? Research suggests they are not actually always as proficient as we might think, even though they're more comfortable using new technologies. And librarians can teach teens how to use the web in a safe manner, and we can also teach other literacy skills. "97% of all public libraries in the U.S. have a designated area in the library for teen materials. Librarians can match the right book with the right teen. That's one of the things we do, regardless of special issues. If you would like to, you may pause this right now and watch this 5-minute video to learn about how YALSA, the Young Adult Library Services Association, helps libraries encourage teens to read throughout the summer. The following are some programming ideas when working with teenagers. There's Teen Tech Week, in which we display services and resources available to teens. A poetry slam or workshop, competition in which they read or write original poetry. 4-H seminar, in which they research ways to participate in green efforts. Free comic book day. What teenager doesn't love free comic book day? Hunger Games, Breaking Dawn programs, whatever is currently popular. Dinners on Me. This is happening in different libraries around the country, in which there's a program that focuses on nutrition, making ice cream and creating recipes, and they also sometimes offer gym discount prizes. Here are some other ideas. Hunger and Homeless Awareness Week, which teens participate in working in a soup kitchen or a shelter. Film and book critics. Teens have a chance to critique and write reviews of films and books, and they are published in the library newsletter. And manga anime costume creation. And right now, 3D printing is really, really popular with young people. We could also do technology workshops. These can be led by teens and focus on web design, blogging, social networking, or other things. And there are always craft workshops. And there's a website there if you'd like to click in. It has a toolbox with some different ideas and some support to help you accomplish those ideas. One tip when we're doing teen programming is that it always helps to collaborate with teens that already frequent the library and also talk to school groups, homeschooling groups, school counselors and librarians, and comic book store owners when you design your programs. You can get a lot of valuable suggestions from them. And it's also important to create a teen library council that's made up of teens who visit the library, and they generate ideas for programs and develop and implement them and provide feedback and assessment afterwards. So, regardless of the programs that you consider, please be sure to consider the following: the structure, the location, the content, implementation costs, required resources, and of course, behavior management, just in case. So, I'm not going to read all of this, but I'm going to give you a moment to do so. I wanted to provide you with an example of how I might look at a possible program for teenagers. And so, assuming that my Teen Library Council has indicated that they're interested in making Native American jewelry, these are some of the things that I would want to think about. I would think about that location at the library or somewhere else, the content, what aspects of the culture would they be looking at, just jewelry or anything else, the structure of it. Do I want them to work in pairs or small groups or individually? I would want to consider the costs, of course, and the resources required, as well as behavior. So, included in my thinking would be how much of my time would it take to plan it, what efforts I would need to market it and get the word out, and how many staff members we would need on that day to put it on. Maybe I'd want to announce at the beginning, in a matter-of-fact way, consequences for not behaving well. Maybe they'd need to leave the setting, and if I put that up front, then they know that beforehand. Maybe I would decide that the best day and time would be on Tuesdays after school. Perhaps library statistics have indicated to me that that would be the best day and time. Here's a link to a program guide that contains ideas grouped by month. Please take a few minutes and consider a program from this list that you would like to initiate. Be sure to think about the structure, location, content, costs, resources needed, and behavior management strategies. And it always helps to consider how you would assess the success of the program. So, when you think about the concept that you looked at from the website, did it contain tangible, practical ideas, keeping all those things in mind? Is there a way you could address any existing programs in your library that fall short? On the next slide, there's a rubric that will enable you to think about what you would consider in regards to a teen program and delineate what you still need to think about and do. So the rubric contains the same things we've been talking about: the program structure, location, content, cost, resources, behavior management plan. So it would always help to have something like this in which you could just look at it and have it in front of you and keep track of, whether or not you need to work on any of the pieces more. And of course you would total your columns, add those across. The higher your total number, the better. So if you're able to plan out some new ways to engage teens at the library, congratulations! You're on your way to having a library that assists teens in becoming literate adults. If you try a new program and it doesn't work, either tweak it until it does, or use feedback from the teens to create one that is successful. And once again, for those of you who work in libraries with teens, it is invaluable to have the teens form a youth council. This way, you can ascertain their needs and wants and obtain feedback as to your own programming ideas for them. I invite you to consider your library offerings every 3 months and either add to them, discontinue them, or revamp them according to the specific needs of your teen population. Here's that Teen Librarian Toolbox link. And here's a link to another good resource. It's called the Teen Library Council. And it's actually a blog. I hope you've enjoyed this, and good luck with your teen programming.